decided he wanted to kill people. And once Armageddon. I think he wins, doesn't he?
I think it's a Pyrrhic victory. Like, the Orcs get pushed off the planet, but the Imperials get the tar beaten out of them over and over again. Like, huge, crazy casualties. Anyway, by the way, we're live. It's after, it's like 7:16. We're cooking. We're yapping about Warhammer. We need to do the fucking, the Warhammer MTG episode sometime. Yeah. Just for the sake of it. Also because I can totally... I didn't realize how many, like, Gene Stealer stuff were in that one deck, but I can totally turn that into a promo for...
Gene Stealer. Yeah.
Good for them. Somebody loves Gene Stealers more than G-Dubs does sometimes.
I mean... Yeah. Yeah. There's some real weird legendary choices that I kind of love. For instance, if you had to guess which Demon Primarch didn't get a card.
Didn't get a card?
Yes.
Portrayal?
Okay. Of the 4 main Demon Primarchs, sorry, Portrayal, which 2 didn't get cards? Because it's really interesting. It's not the 2 I
Oh, okay. You mean, like, out of the ones that are, like, properly aligned? Yeah,
the Fulgrim Magnus,
Okay.
Who
do we... What's the funniest?
Angron.
Angron's got to be the funniest.
Yes. Angron does not have a card. You're correct.
I was like, yeah, that's got to be the funniest.
Rip Angron.
R.I.P. Korn. Honestly,
yeah.
I mean, I don't need to feel that bad for them, but I feel a little bad for the World Eaters because it does kind of seem like out of the Chaos Space Marine armies that are specifically aligned with one of the 4 Chaos Gods, they're the ones that, like, get the least special stuff, and it used to just be that, like for a long time, they weren't even a sub-faction. Like, Khorne, you just put Khorne Berserkers in your Chaos Space Marines army, you know, shit like that. And they have a pretty sad backstory. But there's reasonable arguments that the Storm Wardens are just not a World Eaters, but a Warhound's successor chapter that we hid. Or they could be the Ultramarines. Who knows? Just like lots of other... it's very popular because of the Blood Ravens, obviously, but there are a few very funny ones. Including, I went on like a deep dive while I was thinking about finding new chapters for you. If you don't get that, listen to the upcoming Death Watch and then the one after that, probably, chat. But also watch Death Watch in general while we're chilling. That reminds me, I need to set a Discord app. But I went on like a deep dive of just, you know, random chapters, including a bunch of the other ones from the Dark Founding. And it's like, there's a legitimate case... Sorry, I'm typing. But there's like a legitimate case that, like, the Imperium, like, faked a chapter, basically, where, like... So one of the chapters from the Dark Founding is the Minotaurs, who suck. They're terrible. We don't like them.
Cursed Founding.
Cursed Founding, sorry, yes. Yeah, the Cursed Founding, the 21st one. So the original Minotaurs, which they sucked and everybody hated them. But now there are new Minotaurs who have a completely different color scheme, and the original Minotaurs chapter were supposed to be, you know, frothing mad berserkers. They were basically another Marines Malevolent. You know, like, absolute asshole Marines. The new guys are just, like, Space Marines, but big sourpusses. So, not confirmed in universe, but confirmed out of universe by the writers. The new Minotaurs are actually loyalist Iron Warriors, who are the secret thug gang for the High Lords of Terra. Like, they got to be let back into the Imperium and pretend they're cool, but they have to do the High Lords of Terra's dirty work. So it's like, that's very funny. And I think they're playable in... We talked a lot about, like, I listed all the chapters the sub-chapters you can play with pre-written rules in Death Watch, and, like, there are some very funny ones.
I think they might be in the like...
The huge list and, like, honor the chapter and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, honor the chapter.
Hey, guys.
There's a lot of them.
Detailed one.
Yeah, not super detailed, but very funny stuff. Yeah, Dallas is with us. We'll talk about Fairy Tale in a second. Dallas was asking about stuff for Death Watch, so we've been drawing about that. I was just saying there's some very, very funny successor chapters in the list because Deathwatch is in the 800s M41, so it's pre-Badab War. So, like, you can play an Astral Claw before they became the Red Corsairs. And lots of other things. You can play the guys who, during one of the later Black Crusades, go on to get lost in the warp and become the Legion of the Damned.
Yeah, it's also really interesting.
The funny thing is, the Legion of the Damned's also been like the Legion of the Damned just doesn't exist anymore, kind of.
Well, I mean, yes, but also like they were kind of just like a one-off story thing for the Black Crusade Armageddon stuff, like the end of the world stuff. And then they kind of left.
I also only wars about like as I was like. Honestly, I'd rather just play a fucking Black Crusade and play a fucking Red Corsair. I'd rather just play a fucking pirate.
So I'm gonna be that weirdo and just say every time you guys have said the words Armageddon, my brain just thinks of fucking Mortal Kombat Armageddon.
Well, hey, don't worry, Loth. That's not the planet's original name, because originally it was a planet. I think it's called Ulfnir, and the Adeptus Mechanicus. It was supposed to be launched into
the Beasts of the book series.
The Adeptus Mechanicus teleported it somewhere else.
War of the Beasts is a bad book series that I think most people ignore because it was actually that critically panned.
So,
I don't know if it's
also,
bad of a series.
as a weird aside, Omega, you don't have to share this dumb, mean picture I found.
Hold on, I forgot. I gotta set the new text up as well.
But like,
just because I know what I am.
That half. Here we go. That half. All right, and that's not centered, but there we go. Now it's centered.
Like, I'll be honest. While War of the Beast is not a good book series, it doesn't quite piss me off like some books. My bar for Warhammer books is very low.
It's not like Demon Child where it's actively bad. It's more just it's not like good. It's just not worth reading.
Was the bar to begin with?
Also, I'll say this. This is probably incomprehensible to certain segments of our audience, and maybe to X, but I've known Dallas quite a while. Dallas is one of those people I know who is an aficionado of things that are objectively bad, but they're fun.
Yes.
There's a long history of so bad it's good with movies and books and other things. Like, you can have a piece of media that has objective flaws, but are still fun and funny.
Yeah,
I mean,
like I said, there's a certain charm with certain Warhammer books. There's two tiers of bad Warhammer books, basically. There's the Warhammer books that feel like they were written by 18-year-old man-children, or like Garth Ennis, where I can still find enjoyment in the silliness that is happening on page. And then there's the books that are just like actually poorly written and hurt to read.
I think about all the Joe Kelly Tau books, and they're all just like not good.
Yes, no, great example.
I love Joe Kelly's books because it also makes they made the ethereals like specifically, I guess, like the heads of the Covenant, but like in a like worse way. Instead of Elemental Council, where it actively makes it where like no, they're just genetically chose to be politicians, so it's like fucked, but like not mind control fucked.
Yeah, no, like there's.
I like it was actually a good Tau book.
Thanks to Snipe and Wib for doing Code Complaint. The early Tau lore is not explicit that, like, ethereals are doing mind control. It's just, like, the relationship the rest of the casts have with the ethereals is unusual. We, the Imperium, suspect there may be pheromonal stuff or mind control or something because how do you have loyalty to the elemental, to the ethereals is, like, exceptionally intense and, like, lets them do things that are not normally in their nature.
To paraphrase the quote, how do you get loyalty unless you beat them to the inch of their life?
Yax, but also, I don't trust anything you have about the Imperium.
Also, it's Phil Kelly. It's Phil Kelly, not Joe Kelly.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Sorry to comic writer Joe Kelly. You're not... my bad. You aren't involved in this. You haven't written any Warhammer books.
Break. But yeah, no. Listen, there are lots of ones. There's these days. I think we talked about this off mic at something. I don't remember when this.
Like I know it's like I know we're never gonna play Black Crusade. Or I think it's Black Crusade if it's the game line.
Black Crusade's the Chaos one, yeah.
I don't think
you
we're
said
gonna
you
get
wanted
to
just
it.
play
I
Red
fucking
Corsair.
love
I
the
don't
clip.
know actually. First of all, I will say, as much as
price
I
will
think
go
they are
up.
neat, I don't
Yeah.
know if they are because like that's the weird thing about like
I've played
40K's timeline kind of drifting is that the Bad Ab War is like really old in lore, like it's always been a thing, but it's exact.
It's like the Fall of
date
Cadia,
has
where they
been-
didn't really make it until like the Battlefield Galactic games rewrote it.
Yeah, like it's been a thing that's existed. I mean, the thing about Cadia is like that at least they were able to justify by making it, well, there were a series of Black Crusades. They were constantly trying to take it over. It's just one of them ultimately succeeded because Games Workshop has that bug where they try and make real-world tournaments reflect storyline results, which you have to be careful about because people will
that was a tabletop
absolutely...
issue for like forever.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was very popular in the 90s, and I think Games Workshop kept it up into the 2000s, but it's the kind of thing where, like, people will, like, cheat, edge, you know, beg, borrow, steal, so that their dudes can beat up your dudes. Like, you got to be careful about that stuff.
I think about,
but, like, you know, there's a whole series of that. It's kind of the
that.
same with, like, the whatchamacallit, the different wars for Armageddon, you know, kind of, like, cycling back and forth. But they do also move the timeline. Obviously, they did that with Dark Imperium, then Indomitus Crusade, and, you know, kind of like leaving it open for them to advance. And we'll see probably what direction they end up with the new edition that's about to come out. But like I said, the Bad Ab War was like something that's like always been in the background, and then they only decided in like I think 8th or 9th, like a relatively recent edition, to just be like, oh no, we're gonna write a whole side story thing about this and make it like a big deal for like a little war game setting, which means we're gonna set it in like the early 900s, just before Dark Imperium. Like, so the timeline gets a little goofy in Deathwatch because that's very specifically pegged to the 800s. I ran into that problem myself because I also think that lore-wise, the Red Corsairs are really interesting and have a really interesting backstory for Chaos Space Marines, but I can't
become
use
untaxable.
Yep. Three of my favorite successor chapters are post a lot of this because
I will say this: you'll probably never get to use any of my favorite Chaos shit because you'll probably never get to use Night Lords or fucking Vashtor supported Iron Warriors.
I mean, I could
Night Lord's
use
been around
Night
for
Lords.
forever.
Okay,
That's
so
a
since we
legion.
have Axe and Dallas, the Lords of Tangents, let's talk about the archetype, okay?
Fine, I had one thing I wanted to say earlier, but I couldn't get to it, so okay, whatever.
Oh, yeah, sure. The fucking 10 minutes you guys had, you couldn't say it.
15 actually. Well,
You
Axe
try to
maybe a
interrupt
little
the
late,
Mega.
so I did, yeah.
Omega, what are we starting
What up?
with?
Oh, well, we're talking about Fairy Tale. So, I do have a little preamble, gang, which is, it's the new month, and, we do a poll on Patreon where Fairy Tale won, by, one whole vote, and not a lot of votes overall. I know Loth very super mega disappointed. Soldiers, he didn't win. It'll get another go this month. I'll run up another new poll. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like, despite the fact that this gets decent views and decent chat interactions, don't get a lot of interaction on the poll on Patreon. So I don't know. I might switch it to like a YouTube members only poll. That is a slightly different seller. You know, that'll encourage interaction. So we'll see about that. I don't know if that's how people feel if you stumble across this randomly. But yeah, one every month is a poll pick by people who give me money to pick, because that's a pretty decent content monetization strategy. It's just like I said, the amount of actual like votes and interaction, despite the fact that I'm usually pretty good about putting the FP poll up on Patreon, has been a little sluggish the past few months. So it's like, you know, I don't know if I need to change that to recontinue the incentive, because I require the incentive. I need, guys, you need to give me money, or I'm gonna have to go, you know, starve in the woods.
And then get eaten by alligators.
Damn it. I was about to...
He's thinking about it.
I've done it. I
But-
killed Lon.
Fairy Tale, which I've spelled
It's a
incorrectly
pattern.
in the text box. But I spelled the way that's not an anime. But the fairy tales are weird because I'm pretty sure the reason why they did win the poll is because they very recently got support, which actually gives them a cohesive play style, which is good because when they came out in The Dark Illusion originally, in like 2016, they weren't really an archetype. They were a series of cards loosely based around names of fairy tales, classical fairy stories, that had recurring stats. The baseline is always they're going to be level 4 spellcasters with 1850 attack and 1000 defense. But the original batch don't really mesh at all. Like they don't really interact. There were a couple attempts to make them something for a while, but then, like I said, in Blazing Dominion, they actually like really got their really got their shit together to actually like function. There is a little bit of lore about them, but it's pretty basic in Valuable Book. It's just that like basically they straight up use the analogy of the Tsukumogami. Basically, any tool that's been around for a while becomes a Tsukumogami. So guess what? If you love a story long enough, it becomes it gets a soul. You know, it becomes a thing. So that's it. These are really classic old stories that are around, and so they do that.
Which makes some of these hilarious to me. We'll get to them, but some of these being so loved that they form like it's just very funny.
Yeah, no, they clearly came up with the lore like way later, right?
One of the things that like you could argue about, like you could work them together, was that they're all spellcasters. Wanted to say that earlier, but didn't get a chance to.
Yeah, I mentioned it. They all share a level. Their spellcasters are 18. Like, they have shared stats, but they did not intrinsically play together until later support. So they are kind of out there. Fairy Tale, obviously, is, a joke. They are anthropomorphized, and also they have fairy stories. Their kanji can form the phrase Yosei Denki, which means, fairy tale princess. But it is also used, the word Denki is also a homophone with a Chinese loanword, Chunky, literally strange tale. So just like, layers on layers on layers on layers. We're using double loanwords to make like an extra portmanteau, etc. So there are, a lot of recurring themes. This should be a relatively short archetype to get into. But as Loth did bring up, we do have some tangenters, and that's okay. We can flesh out a little bit. But we'll start,
I don't have my Pathfinder game. I try to tangent less when like I have a deadline. I don't have a deadline today because I haven't played my Pathfinder game in 4 weeks.
No, this isn't, like, sure, I'm being antagonistic a little bit, but weirdly, when you and Dallas get together for an FP axe, you guys just go off.
I think it's because I have a slight thing where it's like, it's decreased a bit over time, but like, I think I had this adoration for Dallas, and then it became spite, and then it became neutrality.
Interesting.
So we don't start.
You're telling me Psych major this?
We don't start with the... Yeah, I'm just continuing on, by the way. I'm steering through.
Please do.
I'm in the driver's seat, and I'm not paying attention to what's going on in the back seat.
It's fine. It's fine. Like, it's like, this is... Well, if I calling you out, I say, like, because it's like, I know you like fucking Trikel a lot. So it's like, it's just...
I can't see it, but I'm miming driving the wheel. This card's not the big fucker, but this is one of the ones that is pretty infamous. This is Fairy Tale Luna. Now, you may be wondering, what the fuck does Luna mean?
Okay, yeah, that's right. I was my guess. I just couldn't remember her name, like, because
you'd probably figure it out easier if they didn't. They did a weird localize, and I don't know why they did it. In Japanese, this is just Fairy Tale Kaguya.
Oh yeah, Kaguya, yeah.
I don't know. Like, this card wasn't print. technically this is from like a second batch because this was like 2017, but this is the first, the first 4 of them were all relatively close together, so we'll do them all at once. They're older school cards. But like, it was 2017. We know about Kaguya-hime Japan, about TCG department.
Okami came out like how many years? Like 10 years before this came out?
I would argue
2007?
this is what. I'll be real. I did not know what this was referencing.
It's not direct. I don't know.
Well, yeah, and that's what I mean, right? Like, they should have probably just called it Kaguya because calling it Luna
honestly,
is like.
My weird opinion on this is like, why is it a fox instead of a bunny?
That I also don't know. I would assume the original artist picked a fox for like more of a, oh, we're doing a Japanese fairy story. We'll do like a.
I would have done a rabbit or like,
thing, but
I would have done like
she is the moon one, so yes, it probably should have been a rabbit. Fairy
because it's
tale.
like I'm trying to think of like, is there actually like fox princess fairy tale I can think of? Because it's like
there are a couple of fox related stories.
Because I can't think of any directly.
Popular, like animal in
I will
Japan.
say,
that's what I think. I think about the fox and like fucking the Little Prince story, but that's a different thing.
the art on this one to me. So the art for this archetype is very a mixed bag to me, because what's the fucking word I'm looking for? Oscillates between extremely cute and I'm gonna need to see your browser history. And this is one of those ones where I'm like, I don't know, this gives weird vibes.
I mean, you
Maybe
can't really
just
see it.
because
There's
I'm
not
on the
really a
bad
lot
side
going
of
on
the
there.
internet.
Well, I'm sorry, but this design can't just be a trick Cal character. I'm sorry.
It's just it's the pose that's.
Axe, I make the joke, but I'm not looking at it like Trick Cal.
I know. I'm just saying, like, I could see a trick Cal that is really just its design.
I don't know what any of this means. They're speaking moon words.
Dallas doesn't. Dallas hasn't been in.
You know Chinese. Suck off.
Dallas. No, shut up. You be quiet. I have a better joke. Dallas doesn't show up to 14 streams anymore, so he doesn't get involved in the trick Cal
I
tangent.
can't
That's
because
a different
it's Friday.
tangent,
Because it's Friday and it's my latest day.
Wednesday
Wednesday actually is 14.
That's another very late day.
Yes. But yeah, Dallas doesn't hang out in the 14 streams, so he doesn't have the context of Loth's trick Cal tangents. Anyway, I don't really have a lot to say about the art direction of Luna in particular. She just kind of exists. Like, honestly, there's not a lot you can see about the design because it's just her doing the kind of like, sad looking back as she goes to the moon thing, but she's partially covered with a fan. I will say I didn't realize until I saw this blown up that she had, like two-tone VTuber hair. Like,
yeah.
That's a design
all
I didn't even realize.
All of these cards could be VTuber avatars.
Probably. Like, there are some details that are very cute, like kind of like the scroll bouncing on her tail, but like she's wearing a big ass kimono that has paw prints on it, but also you can't see that much of it. Like it's we're doing like thematic reference stuff, but it also, as usual, has I feel like the thing we talk about a little with Yu-Gi-Oh! Is like, okay, but did we need to do this posing so we couldn't actually see what's going on in the card? But apart from that, many of you probably know about Snow. Because, not Snow, this is Luna. Snow's the other one. You know about Snow. You also probably know about Luna. Luna's also very infamous from back in the day. I don't believe they're all the same attribute, but I think most of them are light. But Luna is a light monster, and that means she's, Spellcaster 4, 1850, etc. And then when she's normal summoned, you can add one Spellcaster monster with 1850 attack from your deck to your hand. So she does search other fairy tales, but also, despite the fact that they are an archetype you could just say search a fairy tale monster because they're spelled a specific way, right? That also means that she can search lots of things. And in fact, I'm pretty sure on the wiki, I can crack open a list.
Ever since you pointed it out, I am just staring at the two-tone hand, just going, why though?
Yeah, like
Oh
I said,
yeah, there is.
it
There's
was
a bit of
kinda
green in there
chilling.
too. Like it's like well done art, but like I don't. Eh.
That's a card I need to bring up for later. But I believe we have done the. If we haven't done the Charmers, tell me, because that'll be another one we need to do. But I'm pretty sure we have done the Charmers before.
I swear
but if you
we
don't
have.
know,
If we haven't, that's weird.
yeah, I feel like we
Charmer
have.
cards.
So the main thing is that if you don't know that may have been Konami's original idea, is to kind of like build a supplementary engine for the Charmers with Fairy Tales. But the 1850 spellcasters you can search are all Fairy Tales, all Charmers, and then exactly 2 other cards. One of them is Genia of the Ring, which is she was released only in the TCG version of Blazing Dominion. So she's, secret Fairy Tale support. We'll talk about her later, even though she's not a Fairy Tale. She's an 1850 spellcaster. And then exactly Reflection of Endymion, which is one of the Pendulum monsters, and she's a level 7 Pendulum who's got 2700 defense. So, like, it's so funny that they didn't lock this to the Fairy Tale archetype, but it means your only search targets with Luna are Fairy Tales, Charmers, and a card that's basically a Fairy Tale.
Yeah, I think it was Prague or something. I tried to make a Charmer Fairy Tale deck. It was not easy.
No, because they're not really supposed to work together until they come up with some bridges. Yeah, like, and yes, I think there are also Charmer cards which do the 1850 call out, so they're very similar in that respect. But Luna's other effect is the one you probably remember, because Luna came out during a time period where there was another popular archetype which we have absolutely covered before. So you may be familiar with Luna Kaiju, because Luna says, once per turn, quick effect, target a face-up monster your opponent controls. Your opponent can send 1 card with that monster's name from the deck or extra deck to the graveyard to negate this effect. Otherwise, return both this card and that monster to the hand. So, basically...
I would have it to be like, she visits and then they both go back to the moon?
Go back to the moon? Yeah, I think that's the joke, like, because she is Kaguya. But mechanically what that does is, if you're playing Kaijus, especially if you play one of the rarer Kaijus, there's no guarantee that, like, your opponent is also on the same Kaijus as you, so that's a mandatory. So if they can't send a monster, they gotta give you back your Kaiju. So then you can use that to search another Fairy Tale or a Charmer or whatever. Like, it's an engine that also returns Kaijus to your hand, so you can keep recycling them without necessarily needing to search new Kaijus or play multiple copies of Kaijus. So
I think we've always had like this weird discussion about how I personally believe a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh card effects, like a lot of card games do, sometimes do narrative through just how the effect works.
Sometimes.
Yeah, certainly some Yu-Gi-Oh cards like are more flavorful.
More story ones,
than
I think, do it
others.
too.
Yeah, like there are some that are better about that. Especially when you get specific ones like this, you get looser ones. But then you have cases of, like, you can make arguments for, like, for example, you can make arguments about, like, oh, well, it's like the Kaiju is, nobody's friend. They just show up and start, destroying things.
Natural disaster. Yeah,
It's
the
like,
natural disasters.
Yeah, kind of, but also, like, that's still... Why then does
I think
it specifically
I think
attribute
it's
an
more,
opponent's monster kind of a thing?
I think it's more their secondary effect, because I think the first one's more just the thing. If it's the secondary effect, usually more, I think, to the monster itself.
Sometimes, but I don't, I guess Gamesteal negates, and he's a big turtle with a
Sorry.
shell, maybe?
You guys said it before, and I just thought of, like, what is it, the Melfi's piloting Zeus?
Piloting Zeus,
Like,
yeah.
I'm just picturing fucking Veiltail Luna in, like, the seat of Mecha Godzilla, or whatever the fuck he's got.
I mean, I know.
Thumbs up.
I mean, Snow's thing is that literally, like, basically, it's a weird mix of it because it's like you have to banish 7 essentially for her to like
Also,
to go to sleep.
if I may
But
be
it's like,
frank,
yeah,
I don't care about the narrative storytelling because this deck is super fucking annoying.
Yeah.
I was not talking
I
about
like
fair.
It is.
I was more talking.
Go ahead,
Because
Max.
it's the worst kind of deck. Well, can I finish this thought?
Sure, you're in the middle of a thought. Go ahead.
The problem with the deck isn't even that it's like an annoying good deck. It's that it's an annoying deck that either literally does nothing or makes the game super fucking annoying.
Yes, they are like. I think because they were designed as
Like
not
Mystic Mind, but
necessarily
worse.
interaction
Yeah.
pieces. They don't
Mystic Mind,
necessarily
but
go along
worse
super well.
in terms of, and when I say worse, I mean worse in terms of like it's not good, not it's more annoying. Just like it's Mystic Mind but bad.
But yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, just to finish the point, I was more saying like I think because we had this, I think a talking point at times we were going through certain archetype cards where it's like, no, the effect is actually trying to tell you a narrative thing for like we were talking about like World Legacy and everything like that. We're like, no, the effect is intentional like that, even though it's not good.
Well, and I think you see that
we
again
arguments
with this
about
one.
that.
This is Fairy Tale Rella. They decided to shorten it because she was just Fairy Tale Cinderella in the OCG. But I'm gonna guess that the TCG didn't want to risk angering the House of Mouse.
Well, I mean,
Even
they
though those
can't
should
own
be
that name.
completely separate.
Cinderella's public domain.
The 100% or something.
Actually,
Yes, but I don't. I because there's been that question about like stuff like Zorro and things, right? Like I don't know how it interacts with like card games and TCGs.
I can tell you. Do you want to know the stupidest detail? Can't remember why I know this. I think it was one of their comic lawsuits. If the Cinderella does not look like the Cinderella in the Disney production, it is fine. So the fact that she is a blue dog probably would protect them from copyright.
They also got like the two
Probably
birds.
should.
Yeah. But yeah.
I mean, those
do
might be in the story. Go ahead, Luff.
Bit of a small detail. I appreciate that on the tail, she's got the decoration of the rag. The rag.
This one looks even more
and
furry
the
bait to me. I don't know. Maybe
Oh, you
I'm
mean with
brain poisoned.
The fact that they show paw pads as well.
Yeah,
This one's definitely much more. I mean, she's
like,
from the original wave. This one's much more furry. Like Kaguya, yes, does have like kimono face, but like she's mostly hidden
Fox Lady.
under a kimono. I said kemono with
Like-
an e earlier. This is like, yeah, this is
Yeah,
a
let's-
furry.
Weirdly enough, if someone told me that this was like a fucking character in My Little Pony, I would believe it with the way it's
Oh,
designed.
100%.
It's so fucking funny.
Like I about
Officially,
this.
yes,
It's
it is a
like.
dog.
It's also because she's blushing.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about. Yeah, you would never see that unless it was at this, like the size of this art. Honestly,
I don't know.
but
True.
Like I said-
I guess to make a point of this,
I mean,
I've always found that like the TCG is really weird about like they just because of how vampiric the copyright industry is in America.
yeah, they just
I got
play it
lots of-
safe when they don't need to.
Well,
They just
I mean,
they just fucking put like smoke screens up to dodge things, even if it's like
it's not unreasonable to want to avoid interaction with that specific entity.
not even that,
yeah.
but anything else. Really, yeah.
Well, no,
Like-
but like Disney is notorious for like Disney is the Nintendo of the
Disney
US. where
Disney
they
is the
do
one of the major
hanging
reasons
in
why copyright is super fucked up in the U.S. It's because they've been
it's
trying
Disney,
to push against it
Universal,
forever.
and
I just don't know why they never. I just don't know why they never
Fine.
lobby for just like a law specifically for Disney, so like it just been not fucked everything else over, but like whatever.
Well, because they wouldn't get
It's
away with that.
greedy.
If they tried to do it like a Disney law, everybody would be against it. So they just lobby to have copyright changed.
But thankfully, it's that they haven't managed to get it passed. So I think Mickey Mouse is public domain soon, which is hilarious.
I mean, it's Steamboat Willie is. It's the like the
Yeah.
rolling thing. Like that's, and I think that is also a little like, to be slightly fair to the concept of copyright. But if you were protecting artists in general, I think that is better that
Oh.
you don't like you're as an artist, your back catalog, or to more to the estate of an artist, but basically your back catalog is not front dated to your earliest work. So like it starts at the thing that you did first and then keeps going. But yeah, eventually all of Mickey Mouse will be public domain,
Like-
as will all of Sherlock Holmes, because the the Arthur Conan Doyle estate is also like rabid about the freak show shit they do to try and keep the brand under their control.
Like, Alice, you just reminded me. You unlocked like a weird memory of like, oh hey, this is now public domain. Let's make a shitty horror movie. Winnie the Pooh
I-
became public domain.
Oh,
Shitty horror movie.
yeah,
Steamboat
I'll
Willie
say
became
that.
public
That's
domain.
like that. I hate that. That's everybody's first instinct when something's public domain. It's like we'll make a cheap slasher movie out of it and publicize
Okay,
it for
to be
shock
fair
value.
though, I 100% approve of those because they're hilarious. Once again,
That's our
Yeah.
that's
I
our
like
conversation
bad media.
from earlier.
Like, there's a weird respect I have for you, Dallas, because I remember there was a
Like-
time you said, I like playing Raid Shadow Legends. I was like, okay, sure. Oh,
No, here's the thing.
Is it
I
somebody
feel
has to
like there are
drink Raid Shadow
tiers.
Legends?
There are tiers of bad media for me, and this is like bad movies. Easiest things to love. Literally easiest things in the world to love. I feel like it's really hard to make a movie that's bad enough for me to hate it. Then little under that is bad video games because it depends on how it's bad.
Yeah, that's the
if
thing.
it's, like,
Dallas, where I'm
literally
like, I can't throw
unplayable-
any stones. I could look at my. I'm sure if I dug through my shelf of PS3 and PS2 games, I would find some games that people are like, "Oh, that game sucked," and I'm like, "This is a treasured memory of my childhood."
Yeah. Then pull
Axe.
back. Bad books is up there because you really have to
Sorry,
commit to
I
a
thought
book.
of the punchline because I actually looked at my shelf and I'm like, "How dare you speak ill of Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus?" That's okay. You can't actually
Oh,
speak ill of
God.
Dirge of
Yeah.
Cerberus.
That
That's
very
okay.
mediocre game. It's not bad.
Axe
It's
is
mediocre
correct.
as
It's a
hell.
very
No.
mid game.
A few years ago, Axe was the sad victim of me gushing about a game I played when I was a teen, and I really, really loved it. And he was the unfortunate victim of me going, "Hey, watch me play this game," and I would drag him into a VC and stream it to him.
Hey, I have a good time with that. Like, it's actually fun to hang out with you, man. When you're not like yelling at me for being pedantic.
That game, those games are like the only reason I can't like Dirge of Cerberus is because that game literally made me motion sick.
I mean, honestly, they really should make it. It does not control well. It does not
No,
control
because
well.
I mean, no reason it doesn't control well. It was Square Enix
But
trying to
I'm-
make a third-person shooter in like 2005. Of course, they didn't know what
I'm
the fuck they were doing.
I'm also, and this might flashbang some people. I'm also Ride to Hell Retribution's biggest soldier.
That game is terrible.
I never tried it.
Oh,
but
so
I've
bad.
heard of it.
Piece of shit. But it's the best way. It's bad in the best way.
I mean, but it's
Yeah.
like annoying to play though. It's like actually an
But
aggravating
it's
experience.
so funny though because enemies will just randomly fly 50 feet back.
That
Yeah,
does
but
sound
you'll-
right.
What
You also get killed during cutscenes.
for anyone curious,
That's pretty funny.
the game I forced upon Axe was The Last Remnant, another Square Enix
Oh,
company
it's
that was
That game's-
super weird.
I remember. I have a weird core memory of my childhood of like watching a trailer for White Knight Chronicles, which is made by the same fucking studio. It looks like the same games.
Oh,
No,
I never
I-
played those
I-
games,
I-
but I know it's like the same people that made that
I'd
one.
have to
Is
pull
that
apart
when
my
you- is
shelf,
that
but
when
like
you
I said,
pick
I got some
the
weird
30
ones.
seconds?
Hey, Chat, did you know that there were 2 PS2 tie-in games to Eureka 7? I know, because I
Oh
own
my
both
God.
Of
of
course
them.
there were.
Oh my god, here's my thing. Do you want to know my
They're pretty alright.
favorite FromSoft game of all time? It's a little game
Which
called
one?
Lost Kingdoms 2, which is
Oh, I
a
thought you were
game
talking-
where you
Wait.
throw animate cards into monsters
I thought you were going to talk about Ninja Blade.
as a Final Fantasy character. Not actually a Final Fantasy character, but she fucking looks like one.
Okay,
I
I'm
thought you
saying
meant to say Metal Wolf Chaos.
No.
That's fine.
that's not
There's also
Ninja Blade, an actual FromSoft game where it's a really bad Xbox Ninja game.
So, bit of a weird aside. Back
We should
back
probably
to the card.
Let's get back.
You want to say back to the card?
Yeah,
Card
I'm-
design wise, this is okay. Like Dallas, I think was correct earlier by saying this one's way more furry looking than Kaguya, which makes sense because it was earlier. This is like, I don't know if because we will throw shade at Konami when they deserve it, not when they don't deserve it, but they do deserve it about artists. I don't know if we know for sure who the artist who does Fairy Tail is, but I bet it's one of those things where if they haven't been able to say it outright, people can probably guess because I feel like they have a very distinct art style, which is definitely in the furry kimono zone, right? Like,
Yes.
I think they specifically got a furry artist to do these.
I will say this
So-
is the most fetishy looking one. Like, this is the worst it gets, in my opinion.
Well,
I
it's
cannot fault Dallas for thinking that, but I also just want to say a small thing because I love this detail about actual dogs and cats. I really
Yeah.
do find it adorable, the little, like, fur coloration on the hands and the feet.
Oh no,
yeah, no,
I agree.
like socks and boots. But I get what Dallas is saying because like she's a
It's the
dog
blush
person,
that
but she's
really
got
does it.
uh,
It's
Dallas.
her
I think
expression
that
and blush that really does. does
I
the...
think you
like-
might be thinking too hard about the blush thing, because like those little birds are blushing too. Like that could just be that's a pretty normal coloration thing.
Oh,
I think the thing that
Dallas?
I can't get on my head is like it's just fucking feet for free type shit. Like there's so much emphasis on both glass slippers with the bottom of the foot showing, and I'm just like, okay, on the one
In
hand I get it's
fairness-
Cinderella, but also do you have to do it like that?
hold on, Dallas. I completely understand you because my brain auto did the dumb thing you see online when you add like the outline of something phallic, like the shadow on the face.
Oh, see, that went a little more than I was thinking. I was thinking of that stupid fucking anime trope of the, like, princess laugh.
Oh,
Oh, Ojo laugh?
well, she does
Yeah, that one.
have drill hair, so. I
That
mean,
might
it's
be
Cinderella.
it.
She would look like an Ojo, but
Also, I
um,
posted a screenshot from Lost Kingdoms 2.
to
What
speak
the
to
fuck am I
Axe's
looking
comment
at?
earlier about it, Rella is also a card that has an interesting case of semi-thematics. So, primary effect maybe has a theme, not sure, but it's neither player can target monsters in the field with spell cards or effects, except this one. She is the center of attention, I guess. But the much better one is, once per turn, you can discard one spell, equip an equip spell from your hand deck or graveyard to this card, but return that equip spell to the hand during the end phase. So, hey, she transforms for the ball, and then it goes away. Like, that's a really easy one to draw. That also means that when they tried to make this deck later, they had to give it an equip spell because they had to, like, keep it together.
Oh, I didn't know they got an equip spell.
Yes, one of their new waves that just came out is an equip spell. So like I said, they tried really hard to make this like work as an engine, to the point that if Loth and Dallas, if you didn't know, I think Loth might have been there when we actually mentioned it, but as a reminder, the TCG unbanned Snow for this.
Yes.
Like, this deck just came out, like, the brand new stuff just came out in Blazing Dominion a few weeks ago, and with the ban list that was, like, a week after it came live, everybody, by the way, when Blazing Dominion came out, was like, okay, this Fairy Tale stuff is okay, but it's, like, it's not the deck is, because Fairy Tale Snow is unlimited in the OCG, they're like, the deck is really designed for you to be able to play Snow, though. And so everybody was like, oh, well, it'll never happen, and then the TCG put Snow to 1, so, I am not a... It's a weird case where, like, on the one hand, I do like when decks get to flourish, and, like, that's one of those annoying things when, like, the fucking OCG won't ban a card, so they design future support with cards in mind that we would go, hey, maybe not. Maybe Snow's not great. So, like, I am sympathetic, but also, God, Snow is a really fucking annoying card.
Oh yeah. I can't
Luckily, we're
believe
not there
she has to She has to kill 7 dwarfs just to work.
First, we have Fairy Tale Sleeper. And I think, honestly, the blush thing is just, like... I think that's just the artist's style, because, like, different expression, but she just has the little blush stickers.
Once again, this one doesn't set off my, like, vibe dar.
I do appreciate... I'm not sure if...
good.
Sorry. I'm not sure if Luna had it. But you could see, like, the little aura around the book on the tail.
Luna did kind of have it, but it was
Yeah,
funny
Luna
that we
does.
did her first because she's alphabetical. She was a little bit later. She's the first one not based off a Grimm's fairy tale. She had a scroll, a woodcut scroll, because she was a monogatari, not a like a fairy story
Is
book.
this a Grimm's fairy tale? Hold on, I'm trying to
Yeah,
think.
because this is Sleeping Beauty.
Oh, right. I didn't know there's another one that I didn't realize was a Grimm's fairy
Yeah,
tale.
this is
That'll
Sleeping
come
Beauty.
later.
This is a weird case where they actually did do a slightly better job with the localization. The OCG name for this card is Fairy Tale Talia, which is the name of Sun, Moon, and Talia, which is the Italian version of Sleeping Beauty.
That's stupid. That's
but also,
stupid.
like, that's a
stupid.
TCG localization win where it's like, no, Sleeper, like, I can understand. I'm not okay with Fairy Tale Luna. And Fairy Tale Rella is just like, you're scared of the mouse, aren't you? Like, Fairy Tale Sleeper is like, okay, I understand that way better.
No, some of these I really like. Like, there's another one that my absolute favorite is probably the worst one. But we'll get to her eventually.
I
Rochka?
do appreciate they made her
Yeah.
a
No.
fucking cat.
Oh, you think of one of the newer ones, maybe.
Yes.
But yeah, no. To once again remind you how weirdly disconnected this is, Fairy Tail Sleeper is a flip monster. So she's a spellcaster flip. That is like part of some very oddball relationships there. Now that does mean that there's probably some weird support you can play.
I've actually used this weird card before in like not Fairy Tail decks.
Yeah, no, because I think it works. Because her flip effect is special summon one monster from your hand, and then when your opponent activates a normal spell or trap card quick effect, tribute one other monster. The activated effect becomes change one face-up monster your opponent controls to face-down defense. You can use this effect once per turn. Yeah. So basically, she is a flip monster that special summons you extra guys, and then when your opponent activates a spell card or a trap card, normal spell or trap card specifically, you get to do the funniest effect in the universe, which is just be like, no, actually, you're going to Book of Moon my sleeper.
Yeah, I believe I played this in a, oh god, what's that archetype? Prediction Princess. Yeah, that's it. I played this in Prediction Princess.
Yeah, that would track.
Because it works.
You could do some real funny shit with this card, because there's some flip monsters that are like level 12 that don't special summon on the field, so you can do some combos with this that are very dumb and very funny.
Pot of the Forbidden type shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Look, you know me, Omega.
No, I know Dallas.
Much like I like bad media, I also like jank.
I'll say this: I'm okay with jank. They're adding Enneacraft to Master Duel soon. That'll be this month's pack. And hopefully it'll be lower rarity because they're releasing a bunch of the new branded shit. And hopefully that'll suck up all the UR slots. But also, like, I've tried to experiment with flip decks. I love Mimighoul. I'd love to fuck around with some more Mimighoul stuff. Like, the Wake Cups are, like, a really interesting sub-theme that we actually looked at a couple of months back. I think we went through the Wake Cups, which are all, like, flips. So, like, I'm an aficionado of flip. I've tried some dumb, like, Pac-Man and other weird flip bullshit. So, like, I totally understand. Chat, please hold on to your seats.
Oh, no.
Please do not be afraid. Be not afraid.
Oh, is it?
Is she a chipmunk? Or is it wrong?
Squirrel, I think.
Squirrel?
But she's banded, so it could be a chipmunk. They're similar.
Oh, no.
I am sorry. My mic cut off. I actually did scream into my hand.
You peeked a little too much.
By the way, I believe it is a mouse or some sort of rodent because of the ears.
Actually, that's true. I think though Wikipedia says she's supposed to be
definitely
a dormouse,
rodent.
maybe.
That's wrong. No, dormouse is a different one.
No, right? Yeah, no, it probably is a different one. Let me.
Yeah.
I keep doing a fuck up where I have that page for the normal Fairy Tail archetype open, and then I go, I don't need this anymore, and I just, instead of opening a new tab, click the link directly. Okay, Snow does say squirrel.
Yeah, it's not a squirrel though.
I really like her costume and hair. I think it's really cute. And you can look at it and be like, that is Snow White without the travesty that was the live-action Snow White.
Oh no, this is actually one of the better arts in the archetype, in my opinion. Like, we'll get to my favorite later because I have a fucked up sense of humor.
Stuff of like, I like that I do kind of like that they're differently color coordinated. Like, Sleeper was kind of like orange and those kind of tones. Snow is kind of like red. Rella was blue. Kaguya does kind of mixes it up by having a bunch of different colors, but she's a little green, you know?
Yeah.
Purple.
Fair.
Snow also has two-tone hair, though it's a lot more subtle.
Bit of a weird thing. Am I the only one who gets weird Kingdom Hearts stained glass vibes from the background?
Okay,
no,
it is a dormouse. I found a dormouse. It's definitely a dormouse. Let me show a picture because these are adorable.
Dormice, I believe, are pretty.
They're very
pretty
tiny.
Cool. Oh shit, that is like a little. That is definitely like more in the dormouse dimension because it's got like a fluffy tail.
It's because it's also got the rodent curled ears. This is a picture that better shows the ears.
Is it bad that my first thought was with that image you shared, Dallas? It just flies at your face and just have the "you died."
That would be a great image. Yeah, with the ears. That looks a little bit more. Also, I think Dormouse would be more correct because I feel like Dormice show up a lot more in fairy tales specifically.
Oh
anyway.
Yeah.
I
believe it's actually a marmot. I think. If I'm not incorrect. Hold on. Dormouse, Genus.
Sorry, drinking some water. I feel like I don't have to explain what the hell Fairy Tale Snow does. Because, like I said, this card was recently unbanned, and it's been legal at 1 in Master Duel for a long time. So maybe it's okay in the TCG. But if somehow you don't know, if this is your first time ever clicking a YouTube video, and you're just like, oh, I just saw this Fairy Tale Snow card got unbanned. What the fuck does she do? She, like all of this other first wave, are light spellcasters, the old 1850 level 4, all that stuff. If this card is normaled or special summoned, target one face-up monster opponent controls change to face-down presence position, so on summon period, she is Book of Moon. And then, if this card is in your graveyard, quick effect, banish 7 other cards from your hand, field, and or graveyard to special summon this card.
So, Dormouse is a Sycamorphia. Or Scuriomorpha, sorry.
Scurry.
Which is the squirrels in certain types of beavers. Scuriomorpha.
It's very funny
because they have
the interrelated. But that is how animals work. Oh, sorry, I'm yawning a bit.
Some animal relations just don't make sense. Like, oh god, what was it? I'm gonna shout out a YouTube channel if you don't mind. Oh my god, I don't think they cut into your. Check out Casual Geographic. Genuinely,
he's great.
Literally lost myself 4 hours in his content.
Yeah, no, that's
some phylums and subphylums that are just like, what the
God,
hell?
what animal is it that's like closer related to whales than any other land mammal? I forget. I think it's one of the big African ones.
Yeah, I think it's the
Is it rhinoceros? That could be true. Because if you don't know, whales have a really fucked up evolutionary history. You think, obviously because they're aquatic, you'd be like, oh, well, then what it is. It's like, no, you don't understand. It's wild. Oh. But yeah, Snow is Book of Moon on summon, and then as a quick effect, you can banish 7 other cards from your hand, field, or graveyard to special summon her back. So she's a great way to push for game. She's a great way to stop your opponent from pushing for game because they'll forget that buried 8 cards deep in your graveyard is Snow. Depending on the deck you're playing, she can be basically infinite banish fodder because they're banished face up. It's a card that's just really annoying, especially because, like I said, on summon, So, chat, if you don't get it, here's the problem. Neither of these effects are once per turn. They're not even soft once per turns. They are not hard once per turns. So, every single time Fairy Tale Snow is summoned, she is Book of Moon. And as long as you have 7 cards to banish from your hand, field, or graveyard, she can keep on summoning herself back. So, this card can be an infinite number of assholes to run over. And despite the fact that Lynx can't be Book of Mooned, and she came out in 2016, right around the switch to Link format, she's still turbo annoying to get rid of. And so
this is one of those cards I view as in a similar fashion to, oh my fucking lord, bitch trap cards. Oh my god. In every side deck, help me out here. Limit to type or element.
Oh, like Gozen and
Rivalry of Warlords and Gozen
Rivalry.
Match. Yeah.
Not even
I view her similarly to that, where it's not technically the power level that makes me want this card banned. It's the fact that the rules fuckery that comes with this card is why I want this card banned.
Yeah, she's just, neither effects are once per turn, so you can just keep going. And it's a quick effect, so she can literally if you go Chainlink 1 DD Crow, she can literally go CL2. I'm not in the graveyard anymore. You have to respond to her.
One of the things I want Yu-Gi-Oh to do more, and they've been decent about it in the past, but I think Wizards also does this, is that some cards should be banned because of how people use them and how they interact with the game. Like, these aren't power level bans. These are, you can't be responsible with your toy, so we're taking it away.
And honestly, like, I think if people start playing Snow like outside of her own like fairy tale deck, I think the TCG department will send her back to jail. This card's 85 points in Genesis. Like, the TCG department understands, but also I think they're trying to give the fairy tale archetype a fair shake with its support, because like I said, it's clearly designed with Snow in mind. But like, just know this girl has a big red target on her head. Like, this card will go back to prison if you use it for bad shit.
Oh hey, we came up with a new archetype. Oh, it won't sell if like the big like pusher is banned, so let's unban her for a little bit. A little bit of an unbanning. And
like Dallas said, it's more of an issue of trust. If you start seeing Fairy Tale Snow in random bullshit, like if people start bringing back like Gren Maju OTK shit, and stuff like that to just, pub stomp, their locals or whatever, or their regionals with goofy shit where banishing 9 million cards matters, I think Snow will go back to prison. If you only play her as, like, your power one-of in Fairy Tale, that's probably okay, right? Like, that is actually the way... That's why she's only 85 points in Genesis. Like, that is actually the way that, like, Genesis deck building is supposed to work, which is, roughly based on Canadian Highlander in Magic. Like, you can play her with the rest of your archetype deck that is basically unpointed. You can't combine her with any other degenerate bullshit. And there are, like, ways to get rid of her, like, if you're playing something like Macrocosmos or DeFi, or God help you, Shifter, so that, like, she never goes to Graveyard, that's okay. But, like, that means you're counterplaying fucking Snow. And, like, I think the main thing is that Snow's not that good of a card. It's just really easy for her to go to Graveyard and for you to forget about her just chilling in there while you're doing the rest of your plays, and then your opponent goes, quick effect. Just a moment. That's a joke. I don't know if anybody's going to because that's a video NBT just posted at like midnight last night.
That is my favorite way of these cards working, but my issue is there's no real counterplay to it.
No, like I said, I think the only thing you can do is either just generic negates or like exactly your opponent CL1's Snow, CL2 DD Crow. She's no longer in the graveyard. She can't summon herself.
If it was just punishing your opponent for being inattentive, I would be fully Team Snow. But the problem is, even if your opponent is fully attentive, they still can't do anything about it.
Yeah, because if, again, like I said, if you CL1, Snow just dodges. She's the dodger.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I found another art that I must say makes me do the I have to see your internet history.
Oh, is it Rochka?
Yes. This is from the second wave, quote unquote. This was in Ghost from the Past. It was in it was in Selection 10 in JP where they just like picked 10 archetypes to give them like 2 cards. So this is Rachka in the OCG, which is obviously
based on Snowgorochka.
Yeah.
Snow Maiden.
Miss Snow, and I'm just like, no, I'm not happy with this.
I don't know. This one, to me, doesn't feel as bad as Rella does. But I get what you mean. It's the eyelashes and the face and the paws.
And I get we're doing like a gift-giving thing, but it's just like, I don't know. It reminds me of the old, what are we gonna do on the bed meme. I'm just like,
oh God, no!
Yeah. No,
not the
you picked this, by the way, chat.
Like I said,
this is voted democratically.
This one is not as bad to me as the other one, but it's still kind of bad.
Yeah,
I
so
see it.
This one is like I don't have much to say about the design. Similarly, I don't have a lot to say about.
I love her origin and outfit because I'm actually a huge fan of Russian folklore and stuff. Mm-hmm. So the fact that Snogoroshka is a card is fucking hilarious.
Honestly, before a
'Cause I
couple
believe
of big...
Snogoroshka is a god, technically.
Yeah, kind of. Like, she's a spirit. She's definitely descent because, you know, depending on the story, like, her grandpa is, you know, Old Man Winter himself.
Moros.
Yeah.
Daddy Moros.
You know what's the weirdest thing about this card that's getting me?
What?
It's the different colored paws.
Oh, it's because she's wearing
Back
mittens.
are white.
Yeah, she's wearing mittens.
Why is she?
But, which also have paw prints on them. No, it's a little weird. Like, the thing I want to say is I think I like this design because it is a very classic, like, Snogoroshka type design. My main thing is just that, like, kind of because of, like, the pose and the extra stuff, like, she's got 4 giant braids, you know, and she's got the present out. It's a little bit like Kaguya, where you can only see, like, half of the design.
Fun fact, her dad, Dodomoros, is pretty much responsible for Santa Claus. And what I mean by that is Coca-Cola based the Santa Claus design off of Dodomoros. And that's how because this is a picture of Snogoroshka and Dodomoros to show how Santa it is.
The classic, yeah.
Yep.
Well, and then obviously there was literally when Guy lost.
Bit of a weird detail. I appreciate they just gave her really bushy eyebrows.
What I was going to say there was that also there was a kind of like a funny reinterpretation where, like, the Russians also kind of used the Moros as like a take backseat because we could not have capitalist pig dog Santa Claus.
Here's communist Santa Claus. Although, to be fair, I hate the capitalist nature of Santa Claus simply because the original Santa Claus myth is fucking insane and rad. He beats a man to death on top of a mountain with his bare hands. It's awesome.
That's like a lot of saints, actually.
Like,
Anyway,
Saint Nicholas is fucking rad.
Rochka is a weird one because, like I said, this was not we're making a full archetype, but we're adding like a couple of cards, and we'll talk about some of the spell card they added in a little bit. But Rochka is like semi-written to be support, but also is very clearly like oddball. So when she's normal summoned, you can make your opponent gain 500 LP. Then you look at your opponent's top 3 cards. Oh, sorry. Then your opponent looks at your top 3 cards. Chooses one of them out of your hand, shuffles the rest back in. You can use this effect of Rochka once per turn. Once per battle, if this card battles before damage calc, you can send it to the graveyard. That one is like, you know, a whole thing that I'm not sure about, because, like, Snogoroshka's made of snow, so she can melt, usually at the end of the story. But the 500 life points of the thing is, like, it's a gift exchange joke.
Yeah.
And that one's possibly slightly more useful. There is probably something that may matter for, like, sending her before damage calc to the graveyard to dodge.
Yeah. I think the biggest problem is it's a normal summon lock effect.
Yeah. Just like a lot of them have that normal summon problem. She's also only on normal. And remember, your other normal summon, if you were building this as a deck, is Luna, who searches another fairy tale. So, like, that's the one you want. Luna could be any fairy tale. She could even be Rochka.
Oh, I think the next one's my favorite. Yes.
Well, first we are going to talk about I mentioned it, the spell card that came out in this blob, where they kind of gave them a spell card to support, but kind of not. You know, before we shift fully into the
on one.
This is Fairy Tale Tales, because that was in Selection Pack 10 as well. So, like, this is like in Ghost from the Past. They tried to give this deck a thing. It's our thumbnail card. It's super cute, and it does come back because there's a character you can now see in the background now that this is fully blown up, who, guess what, will be a future card later.
Yep.
But for now, it's just like the souls of
it.
You know.
It makes you think about, like, Sinnoh Alice, but, like, not sad.
Again, another small weird detail. I appreciate that. I think Sleeper has all the fucking thorns leading up to that ghostly form.
Yeah. No, this art, by the way, I once again, I fucking hate Konami for never giving
Not
artists
crediting.
names.
Yeah, no, this is really good.
This is one of the best arts I've ever seen for Yu-Gi-Oh! Honestly, like this looks like a fucking Ghibli movie.
They made them cuter somehow.
Yeah,
they
no,
smaller,
this
cuter,
is like,
but also like there's great technical play in here because like look at the arched ceiling. It it looks like outer space kind of a stuff. There are all these particle effects.
Dead ass, I can hear like the score from like Spirited Away or Totoro playing in my head looking at this.
I mean,
like
as much as we
genuine,
did shit talk the Disney Corporation, they've hired some good songwriters over the years. Like this is like
definitely.
you start to play a couple of strings from like Beauty and the Beast or something in here.
Like I said,
Yeah,
I don't
classic,
think Disney.
musical intro.
I don't think Disney is actually as bad as some people seem to think. Like some people seem to think Disney is like the devil. Maybe I'm just too jaded with too many corporations, and I'm like,
I mean, most corporations are
sweet
terrible.
summer child, you have not begun to discover the true evil of corporations.
Disney is pretty normal. They're just looking out for their bottom line because they're an entertainment
they're
company
just
that's
greedy
all
assholes.
IP. But so Fairy Tale Tales, which by the way
They
is spelled
haven't-
fairy tale with an LE, Tales with the IL.
Classic.
They haven't sponsored Death Squads.
True.
Looking at
That I know
you, fucking banana company.
So
what
this is a
it?
continuous spell that says you can reveal one spellcaster monster in your hand with 1850 attack and a different name for monsters you control. Immediately after this effect resolves, normal summoner set it. So this is how they get around the problem that Rochka has. Is also a normal. You can only use the effect of Fairy Tale Tales once per turn.
It also means you
Go
can
ahead,
set up Sleeper because it says you can set.
Yes, you can also use it to set Sleeper.
Yeah.
And then, the first time each turn you would take battle or effect damage while you control a spellcaster with 1850 original attack. You don't. I had to say the other effect, but I burped in the middle. Go, Dallas.
So I don't get Omega in trouble. The company I am referring to is Chiquita, and they have literally been sued for sponsoring paramilitary death squads in Colombia. So I'm not saying anything libelous.
We should not talk about the relationship of North American companies in South America.
No.
Look that up on your own time. Before we get into the new stuff, I need to run real quick and refill my water. So I will be right back, and I will leave you guys with the beauty of Fairy Tale Tales. But to remind you, this gets you an extra normal summoner set, and also protects you from battle or effect damage once. Why? Yeah.
That's squishy.
Yeah. Just because.
And also, if you're playing Charmers, fuck it. Why not?
Yeah. God, that art is so good.
No, it is pretty. Like, as Omega and you said, I can hear the Beauty and the Beast, like, whimsical music. Just in my head
like some
when
Anastasia or something, just like that old
Yeah,
80s style.
I was also thinking Anastasia, I just didn't want to say it out loud.
Anastasia is fucking awesome. I will ride or die for that. I love its sequel, Bartok the Magnificent.
I never saw that, but Dallas, don't worry, I'm right there with you. If that was such a beloved movie for me and my family that if anyone says December, I had to look at my sisters because they might just start singing Once Upon a December.
Oh no, Anastasia is like, and that like I said, Bartok the Magnificent was a movie I had on VHS, so I watched it way too many times.
I know that thing. I didn't know that movie existed.
It's kind of radically weird. Bartok goes in a side
it's a John
quest
Blue film, isn't it?
where he's a charlatan, and he has to go kill Baba Yaga because she kidnapped the Tsar of Russia. But actually, she didn't. Instead, the Tsar's advisor kidnapped him, and then the advisor turns into a dragon.
Weird.
We
I mean, it's by John Bluth, who also made Dragon's Lair and
Bartok
shit like
kills
that.
her. Like, drops a brick on her head.
I mean, I forgot what studio did Anastasia. Was it
It's John Bluth.
DreamWorks?
Yeah,
It was John Bluth's studio.
It's a sadly defunct studio because they kept making weird indie films.
Like, think about it this way, like, quote unquote children's movie, and then you had fucking Rasputin forming as a skeleton. Like, shit was rad.
Yeah. Oh God. Das Vidanya, Anya.
Yeah, like
God, that.
That Rasputin lives in my head rent free. That's who I think of whenever I think of that man.
That's one of them for me, definitely. The other one is the one from Hellboy.
Oh, I don't think I watched, or at least remember it.
It's when he literally has to they're breaking into this fucking demon hell place, and it's like this. The door requires a human sacrifice, and he just stands on it, gets sacrificed, and then reforms in a pool of his own blood.
Omega, is that you or Lucky saying that in chat?
That was me.
Okay.
Lucky might also think of Bunny,
Fair.
but I don't think he's here. It's just me. I was typing that not to interrupt you. But I also had to think. My mic wasn't back on yet, but I sat down and I was like, of course Dallas thinks of Hellboy. But yeah, so leaving Fairy Tale Tales, we got some new Fairy Tales, and they actually get some extra deck monsters. You know, previously they were kind of used as just fodder for certain spellcaster decks.
This will be
But
interesting
first-
for me because I haven't seen any of the new cards.
Okay.
Oh, can we get to my favorite girl, please? I'm begging.
That's
Well,
what I was
alphabetically,
meant to be the
first
one horny
is
Still fishing.
Matchkidu, which is
Yes, no,
another
this is my favorite.
another
this is my favorite.
Another case of localization being a little weird. I don't know why they went with
I love
Matchkidu, because it's supposed to be Match Girl, but the name in the OCG was Machiru, like Matchlile. So
I like Match Giddy.
My
I
favorite,
think it's a little better.
Gone fishing.
Also,
what the fuck? That's not the right card.
this is my favorite. This is my favorite art by far.
Sorry, I'm trying to grab the art because it's not in Master Duel, but
Okay.
maybe if
It's
I click
also
on it.
hilarious.
Sorry, it's that's not correct. I could have told that if Google displayed the correct image in the preview.
Google does Google things.
Apparently, Dallas, nobody agrees with you because there's no blow up of this card art. Where's
I
the
got
full
one.
art upscale?
Don't I have it? Is this how it works?
But yeah, that's got the card.
Aw.
That's a scan.
Oh.
The full card art. Normally, there are freaks on DeviantArt who blow it up, but none of them exist, apparently. None of them wanted to redraw Match Girl. So I guess I have to give you the version that has the giant
Hold on,
sample
no,
stamped across
I
it.
have it. I think I have it. Hold on. Let me make sure this isn't for ants. Yes.
Okay, there it is. That is actually the correct. Image search was not giving it to me. But yes,
How adorable.
Matchkidu. As in
Matchstick
the little,
girl.
I
little
love this
Matchstick
card.
girl. Yeah.
Yes. The Little Matchstick Girl, which I did. That's the one I was like, I did not realize this was a Grimm's Fairy Tale.
Yep.
Wasn't
I knew.
Matchstick?
I know of the story.
Wasn't it a Hans Christian Andersen thing?
Yes, it is a Hans Christian Andersen.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, not all of them are Grimm's, because like I said, it was just the first few, but knowing also
Oh,
the Brothers
okay, so
Grimm, they
Chronicle.
reprinted some stuff. Yeah, because like I said, Kaguya was the first, or Luna was the first one that was not a Grimm's Fairy Tale. The first three they did were straight up. But
It's very hilarious that this card is a card. Like they chose this as the because if you haven't read The Little Matchstick Girl, it's a story about a girl slowly dying and then she dies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
the cold,
real
yeah.
sad.
It's
like a
it's
lot
literally just-
on Anderson, Super.
I would argue this is like worse than most of his. Like this is not like because like with other stories, there's like other things in it. You know what I mean? Like yeah, The Little Mermaid is a sad story, but like there's other parts. This story is literally just a girl is sad and dying and starving, and then she dies. Go away. It's like.
But yeah, so this one is our first attempt to make a card in the deck that does deck things. You know, the way decks normally work. So yeah. First of all, if a spellcaster monster with 1850 original attacks on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard, but you can't special summon for this turn except spellcasters. If this card's normally special summoned, you can add a Fairy Tale Spell Trap or a Fairy Tale Tales, because they... And that's not, by the way, the TCG's fault. So Fairy Tale, I mentioned before, is usually written as, in Japanese, Yosei Denki. They wrote that the card Tales was written Yosei no Denki, like it's literally they changed the name in the OCG as well because they were dumb. They were stupid idiots who weren't thinking ahead. But we're here now, so you can add Fairy Tale Spell Trap or Fairy Tale Tales from your deck to your hand. You can pay 500 LP, then the name of one effect monster your opponent controls becomes Prince of Fairies. You can use each effect once per turn.
Huh.
So, yes, Matchkidu is like an actual card in an archetype. She is a free special from hand or grave if you have another member of the archetype, or if you're playing Charmers. Again, as mentioned, it's literally only Genia of the Ring, which we will talk about, like I said, at the end. And then the Charmers, and then Matchkidu, like the Fairy Tales. So, you know, you summon her, your spellcaster locked, but that's not always a huge problem. And on normal or special, she is the Spell Trap Searcher, because they're going to have more Spell Traps. And then you can pay 500 LP to blank one of your opponent's names. Just, no. You're not Dark Magician. You're Prince of Fairies.
I love this card.
And I do want to say...
It's a very funny effect.
Yes, but thematically, also, I really do like it. So, Prince of Fairies is not a card. He does not exist. The card Prince of Fairies, and the Japanese name of that is Yosei no Oji-sama, just like the Prince of the Fairies, is just like not real. He's only made up by the story.
Yeah, like
so that's
I love
fun.
this.
Go Dallas.
I only have.
No, I've got a weird thing to say. So,
Loth said go ahead to you, so you go ahead.
Okay. I only have one complaint of this card, and that it does not have a death effect.
no floating effect.
It doesn't have a blow up.
It should have a death effect.
I mean, that makes sense.
I mean, it's mostly just
thematic.
like, I mean,
The
you
entire
pay
point
LP,
of the
so.
story is she dies. Like,
To me, oh, sorry.
okay. No.
So I have a weird thing, and I'm gonna take a page out of Axe's book with this one, where I can just say I picture the fucking little adventure game with all the fairy tales, and this is your fucking firecaster.
She just throws matches at things.
Yeah.
Her idle animations are just fucking sadly lighting a match.
Very apologetic as like things just burn.
I mean, they all have the book tails, so like they literally have fairy stories on their tails.
Yeah, but that's just the small thing I wanted to say.
Oh, it's just the book they take over. Anyway, doing something revolutionary. This deck of nothing but level 4s has a rank 4. I apologize for the slightly bad quality of this, but again, these cards came out not too long ago. They're not in Master Duel because that is arguably Master Duel's #1 flaw, that despite having monthly releases of new cards, they're still fucking like 2 years behind releasing in some cases.
And
Presumably
it's just, like,
because
smaller
the
amounts and,
Master Duel department has a mandated number of URs they have to do, but they also understand that if they UR every single card, the audience will just quit.
So, This is the most furry big card I've seen so far out of these.
That is
Fairy
super
Tale
furry.
Oh, yeah.
Witcat.
Such like a, it's just a. It's,
So, this is where we get a little weird. So,
this is a
this is
Hampton Hotel character.
This is also very funny that this came out this year. Wicked Cat, can you guess what she is? This is the Wicked Witch from Wizard of Oz, which is kind of a fairy story, but also like...
they honestly
don't-
should have done they should have done the actual color schemes you had in the original book then, if they wanted to go with
No,
that.
hold on. I can see it. You know
Well, I mean,
why?
I don't think you'd want a
Red
green
po-
cat.
Red
Oh no, no,
Bull
not
pad.
no. That's the movie, not the book.
Sorry, hold on. Not red. She's got ruby paw pads.
Yeah.
Oh god. But no, this is like straight up furry, like
I don't
Porn.
disagree.
essentially.
Yeah.
Like, obviously it's not pornographic, but you know what I mean. You know what you are.
Yeah, I
what
know,
you are.
Dallas. You don't need to remind me. I say it out loud.
Like, this is a deviant Artosi.
Oh god, I can see it.
Well, it's funny because, you know, we get our scans for DeviantArt. But yeah, no, like this is just like a furry artist's OC type design. Like, obviously she is recognizable as a witch, but she also has a different dominant color scheme, being kind of purple. But she has a very pointy ribbon. She's got a crystal ball in.
Crystal ball.
But this is the only dark one so far. So she's a rank 4 who requires 2 level 4 spellcasters. So you are still like spellcaster locked here. 1850, 1000. So of course she has the stats. Each fairy tale monster you control whose original attribute is light is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. So everybody but her is immune. So she basically eats all the interaction. And then once per turn, you can each of the following effects once per turn. Sorry. You can detach up to 2 materials from this card. Send fairy tale cards from your deck to graveyard equal to the number detached. If this card's in your graveyard, quick effect, target fairy tale you control whose original attribute is light, special summon if you do send that monster to the graveyard. So basically, she is blanket protection for your fairy tales. She is a foolish burial, which is how you get, like I said, this is why the deck is better if you have snow. Like, they literally have the card that is any 2 fairy tales, detach 1, foolish burial, snow. Like, it's an integral part of cycling. And then Witcat has the ability to, if you summon a snow, as a quick effect, send Snow back to the graveyard where her effect can activate so that you can summon Witcat back and then give your opponent, you know, effect protection. Like, they do go together. The main thing that's like, unlike Snow, I think it's good that she doesn't really do anything on her own. Like, and she's still easy to run over and to interact with. But
I will say she is definitely, and I'm just gonna get this thought out because I think I have to leave pretty
Good.
soon.
Oh no.
Okay.
I really love the design they're doing with Matchgiru and the fusions you guys are going to talk about.
Yeah.
With the, like, literally changing cards into useless blanks.
yeah,
I think that's fucking rad. I want them to experiment more with it. My only regret is that you can't do it to your own cards, because I think that would also be fucking rad.
yeah. I mean, they may add that later. You might be able to do that, but it's still you know, an odd case where.
Yeah, no, I love the design space they're heading into. I love whenever card games get adventurous. It's why, despite the uproar, I'm a proponent. I'm not a proponent. Yeah, no, a proponent. Fuck it. I'll say proponent of the Universes Beyond stuff, because it forces them to, in an effort to capture flavor, really stretch those creative brain juices. And, like, yes, sometimes it's shit, but, like, they try.
It also works out because there's so many cards that just say that either check something specific name or I become this while on the
Oh
field.
no,
So
it's amazing. Like, the
So
ability
being able to
make
just be like, fuck you.
One of my favorite archetypes in Magic is literally all about. It's a very rare archetype because it's a lot of cards from, like, older sets, but it's literally changing the color of cards and taking advantage of that. It's really funny.
Yeah, it's a similar principle, and it does actually, like, it's not always good, But it does have some very funny interactions. We did mention it, so we'll bring up the next one. This is the Teller of Fairy Tales. You saw her in the back of Fairy Tale Tales from the back.
Okay, I lied. This is the Deviant Artosi.
What's Natalia character doing here?
I mean, she's the
Yeah.
librarian.
No, this is the OC. This is the...
Oh wait, she doesn't have ridiculous thighs. It's not a Natalia character.
No, I was like...
That was
she
right.
dressed way
I
too
mean, it was
conservative.
pre-Ryza then.
She was way too conservatively to be an Natalia character.
You make a studio
But
Gus.
I will say, this is talking about the joke about the adventure game or whatever. Like, this is the actual main character, girl character, like, who interacts with the stories.
Yeah, no, this is
Like,
this
she is the
Ghibli
OC, the stuff
protagonist.
we rotate around. She does have stars in her eyes, which is very cute. But yeah, this you saw her design from the back in Fairy Tale Tales.
I gotta head out. Sorry, I cannot
Alright.
join for the full time.
Bye.
Fun while you were here. Thanks for joining us. We won't be too much longer, I don't think.
Yeah, really, it's like
Right.
20 more minutes, I guess. I guess as a bit, it's like, oh my god. I guess I say this because I'm getting a headache, actually. But,
I'm fighting one a little too. I'm drinking a lot of water. It's hot.
I just want to say, I guess is the thing I wanted to say like an hour and a half earlier. Like, I like the design. I can't really tell what her hair color is because the lighting. Is it like lilac or is it like actually like a darker shade? But like outside of that, like it's a fun design. I guess it's just fantasy librarian mage girl. She's
Yeah,
even got the
it's-
fucking book strap. She's got the thing we made a meme like the meme about that I actually agree with, like the fucking the combat strap for your book.
Well,
also got
it's
a
also
pen,
got a
too.
pen in it. Like I think it's like it's
Like a
meant to be
notebook.
some kind of something she's it's a notebook she scribbles down in.
But yeah, like I'd say, yeah, it's like I know we're never gonna do it, but like, yeah, I'll just wait till after Mike because it then makes more sense then. For to say it now tangentially.
Okay.
Oh,
Anyway,
fuck.
what up, Bluff?
Sorry, I just decided to look because I was like, oh man, how many Atelier games have there been? And it's like almost
lot.
one every fucking year. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Gus keeps running out of money.
So, Teller of Fairy Tales, is a Earth spellcaster for. I think they made her and some other cards in this Earth because they wanted to make it so they weren't protected by Witcat. But she is a fusion. We have two fusions now. I'll explain how that works in a second. But she is a light fairy tale monster and any one spellcaster monster. So, you need your non-extra deck fairy tales and then any spellcaster. Teller specifically says your fairy tale monsters that you control can't be destroyed by battle. So it gives you battle protection. And then you can only use each of the following effects once per turn. If this card is fusion summoned using Prince of Fairies as material, destroy as many cards your opponent controls as possible. If you do, inflict 500 damage for each destroyed. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, banish one fairy tale from your hand or graveyard, negate the activation if you do destroy that card. So, Teller of Fairy Tales is, one, a negate. She is an Omni negate. You do have to banish a fairy tale, but it can be from hand or graveyard, so that's good. But also, as Dallas noted, she has that very funny effect where if you fuse her using a Prince of the Fairies, i.e. you blank out an opponent's monster to use this material, she turns into a board wipe, and then you inflict damage. Kind of giving them a interesting, going second kind of effect, or maybe a, super poly, type monster if you go first kind of setup.
I was about to say, like, yeah, Super Poly, but did they give them an in-arc type fusion that can target?
Yeah, no, they have like
Okay.
I think with Tails it's like 4 total spells.
Okay. Also, just funny enough that it is just, oh hey, if you use the prince, the quote-unquote like ending, like when they get with the prince, the story's over. Board wipe everything.
Yeah, basically. And then, she's the librarian who binds things, but we also have the author. And I didn't realize until I blew this up that, first of all, it is a she. That was a little ambiguous from the normal card preview, but also she's got Anime Mom's side plat.
Oh no, she's gonna die.
With a little ribbon, though. So,
like
a thematic
the
tie-in.
fairy tales have.
Yes. So this is
They made
Weaver
the
of
ghost
Fairy
cute
Tales.
again.
Yeah. She's working. She's writing the stories. She's updating.
God, they're adorable.
Updated my journal. That's one that I think only out of. I didn't know. Loth laughed. Okay. I thought only Axe might
I
get
don't
that
even
one.
know the. I don't
You
even
just
know
thought
the
it was
reference.
funny that I said
just the way you
updated my
said it.
journal.
Yes.
What was that one from?
That's Planescape Torment.
Oh God, I've never actually. Okay, to be frank with you guys, I love CRPGs, but I can't play them. I get choice paralysis so hard that I need to play them in co-op, or I can't play them at all.
I will say this is a problem with a lot of old school, especially D&D inspired CRPGs, because even if you cut out like most of the crap in D&D or Pathfinder 1 or whatever, those games were designed with choice paralysis in mind. So yeah, it's rough. I understand. I totally understand. Like it's why I prefer some
want to make
simpler
good choices.
original games, just like if you've never played it, boot up Dragon Age Origins sometimes. That's very simple. You only have so many subclasses. And spoilers, the one you should pick is probably pretty obvious depending on what playthrough you're doing. If you're a mage, pick Arcane
Mage.
Enchanter. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're heavy armor.
Bit of
Will
a
of Sword.
weird-
Anyway, Weaver.
Deep,
Go for love.
weird detail. I find it hilarious. I forgot her name. Was it Roshka or whatever?
Rochka, yes. It's not a Rochka. But,
Just she's so enamored by what's being read. She set down the ghost present.
yeah, no, lots of little cutesy details. I really like it. They're very funny that Luna's still hiding behind her fan, stuff like that. So Weaver, Weaver is basically your first fusion because she is another level 4 Earth spellcaster, 1850, all that stuff. She is also one Fairy Tale monster and one spellcaster monster. But her effect is all Prince of the Fairies on the field become spellcasters. So this is how you set up Teller, is Weaver turns monsters you've turned into Prince of the Fairies into spellcasters. During your main phase, you can special summon a Fairy Tale from your deck or banishment. You can use this effect of Weaver once per turn. If you normally special a non-Earth Fairy Tale while this card's in your monster zone, except during the damage step, target effect monster putting controls negate its effects, and also its name becomes Prince of Fairies. So basically, your setup to your turn 1 play is make Weaver and then set it up so that you can either summon Snow on your opponent's turn, or you can flip up Sleeper and summon a Fairy Tale from your hand, or you've already done like a Witcat line, so Witcat can come back, and that will trigger Weaver to be a spot negate, and then also turn one of your opponent's monsters into material, and then you fuse into Teller. And Weaver also has the ability to, during your main phase, get back either a Fairy Tale from your deck, obviously to set up, her own effects, or to recycle Fairy Tales you've banished, such as off of Teller, which is, banish a Fairy Tale card to negate a monster, negate an opponent's activated effect.
If banished via Snow.
Yes. Like, obviously not all at once, but yeah, if you banish a shitload of cards off of Snow to use Snow to trigger Weaver, Weaver can get a card you need back on your turn to win the game. Because you'll notice that while this deck has some very funny control elements, you have the ability to negate and blank out your opponent's effect. You can already guess what? They are going to have a pseudo Super Poly effect later. Or you could just play regular Super Poly also in this deck. They have some interesting control strategies to kind of play with your opponent's monsters. They do have a pushing for game type problem. Literally every card in this deck is 1850 attack because that's the only thing that ties them together. So,
yeah.
And being spellcasters. But winning the game is tough. If you can't get your opponent to just call it quits, pushing for game is difficult. So keep that in mind.
Some other weird win kind of thing.
I mean, you can just play, rank 4s. There are probably spellcaster fusions you could do. I don't know if it's easy to get, but you could probably include a magicalized fusion to just go into quintet with 5 names kind of a thing. There's a few tricks you could do.
Make all of your opponent's monsters Prince of Fairies. Super poly them all into a quintet. Fuck it.
I guess you could, yeah. If they were all 5s, you could negate them all, yeah. But like I said, they got a couple of in addition to Tails, they got a couple of spell cards, one of which is a field spell. That's right. It's one of those.
Yay. You know what that means? I can make some weird, fucked up Fairy Tale Malefic deck. It'll
Probably.
suck. But I
So
could.
the field spell card is Fairy Tale Ball. Also, actually, I don't think I brought this up with Snow, but for some reason that's unclear to me, but it's probably related to that thing Dallas brought up earlier, which is about, like, so long as you don't resemble the original, you're not in copyright problems. Snow is like blue in the OCG, and she's red in the TCG. So they swap seed the colors.
Makes sense.
And I'm gonna try and find a good
Does that mean
blow-up.
she's blue and ball? Sorry, I'm actually sick, so it's a bit difficult to speak. But is she in the picture for ball? Is she blue?
In the OCG, she is. Yes, that's what I was saying. Like in the TCG version, she's red. So it's funny. It's one of those things where like the wiki has like them in two. I can pull them both because I think I'm just gonna have to show you the scans because ain't nobody fucking bowling these cards up online, which sucks a little bit because I'd love to see this art in more detail to actually pick out some of the details, but
Aww.
that's the OCG original, and then here's the TCG, slightly larger. You can see Kaguya back there, still with the fucking fan in front of her face, and there's Snow with clearly a red dress, where she's got a blue dress and a red ribbon in the OCG version. I think in the back corner there, you can see Sleeper, like, laying down on a pile of pillows or something.
Something.
I do like that you can see more of Snegorochka's art. Yeah, I think Witcat's in the back there. Making a sound, I'm sure.
Oh my god, she's... Sorry, Roshka's fucking paws are huge. Holy shit.
The proportions are a little weird in this, yes. It could also be the classic perspective because they're all, you know, arrayed on a plane of different perspectives so you can see all of them.
Yeah.
But I do like that you can see more of Snegorochka's design. But yeah, Fairy Tale Ball is your field spell. It says, when this card is activated, add a Fairy Tale monster or a Fairy Tale Tales from your deck or banishment to your hand. So it lets you add back banished. Your Fairy Tale monsters can attack directly. There you go. That's one of your ways you can win con. You Book of Moon all of them and attack directly. Once per turn, when your opponent special summons a monster and you control a Fairy Tale monster except during the damage step, target one effect monster your opponent controls. Negate its effect and its name becomes Prince of the Fairies. You can activate one Fairy Tale Ball per turn. So yeah, field spell is a search to be a starter. It lets you add back, you know, from deck or banishment. And then just if they summon an effect monster, if they special summon while you control a Fairy Tale, target any effect monster they control, negate it, you're a prince now.
That could be so annoying. Oh my god.
That means, by the way, we are up to 3 of those. There are 3 of those effects in this deck because there's one on Match Gidu, which is great if you're going second because you got to pay 500 to do it. It's not a quick effect. Weaver lets you do that if you special summon a Fairy Tale that's not Earth, and Ball lets you do that whenever your opponent special summons a monster while you control a Fairy Tale. So, yeah, no, both of these have some, or all of these have some pretty useful effects, and just the field spell that just adds an appropriate monster on summon or on activation is just good. Like, that's, I know those are the cards that usually get fucking, you know, turbo ash blossomed, but
yeah.
Sorry, I was that meme of the soldier's 1,000-yard stare there for a second, thinking about specifically Mimigul. Mimigul Dungeon, the most ashed card of all time. I've also eaten so many Droll Lockbirds out of activating it.
Oh. Also, I believe we mentioned it before, but I do find it hilarious that the become a prince is not for the rest of the turn. It is just permanent.
Yep, no, you are negated and you are the prince. And
You
just
become
like
useless.
yeah. And it's I appreciate it because you would think it would be the other way around because usually, you know, the princesses, the girls in these are the you know, the damsel in distress. But a lot of good prince characters are also just kind of like, I won't even say blockheads, but they're just like character-shaped cutouts. They're just like solid objects in the narrative. You know, they're not really characterized. They just exist because, well, you got to have a good prince.
Small tangent. That one of the good Prince the moments wasn't from the original. It's from the fucking 2 DVD or 2 VHS movie that was Cinderella. Was it 2?
Yeah, they did do 2 of them. Well, they did 3
And
actually.
there
But the
was-
third one was the time travel one.
Yes, but there was the weird one where like there's a moment where like the king is like, you will not step down these stairs, and the prince just jumps out a window.
There's a lot of fun made about Disney, direct to VHS, direct to video sequels, but I think they did a few interesting things. I have very fond memories of both Return of Jafar, but especially Aladdin 3, King of Thieves.
I think that one was actually a good one, yeah. 'Cause
Well, they paid Robin Williams enough money that he came back for it.
I never watched. I'm
No?
sorry,
You've never seen King of Thieves?
I've never seen the other 2 Aladdin movies.
Oh, you should sometime. Maybe we'll put some Disney movies in rotation. But yeah, Aladdin the King of Thieves or Prince of Thieves is a good one. It has one of my favorite existential terrors of childhood, the magical Midas hand. It's just got King Midas's detached hand that turns shit to gold.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's a little freaky. It's a little freaky deaky. It's got Aladdin's dad, who's Aladdin, but he has a cool salt and pepper mustache. It's pretty
So,
solid. Anyway,
Yeah, this card is real good.
Once Upon a Fairy Tale is your quick play spell card, which remember is searchable. Special summon up to 1 light fairy tale monster, each from your hand, graveyard, and banishment, with different names. You can't special summon except spellcasters. If this card is banished or sent to the graveyard except from the field, you can set this card, but it can't be activated unless you control a fairy tale. You can use each effect once per turn. So yeah, this is just, depending on what you've been doing, this is basically soul charge for your fairy tales. Like,
Okay, sorry, I had to double check if it was like and or, but no, they say up to.
yes.
Okay.
So it's 1 each from hand, graveyard, or banishment. So if you have been doing your plays, activating your things, you get to recycle all of them. But also, great effect. So remember, Teller can banish a fairy tale card from your hand or graveyard. So that can include your spell cards. So you can banish this to be a negate fuel, and then it can set itself. Or also, if you discard a spell, as several of the other cards let you discard spells or discard cards to do things, it can set itself. So it's a quick play that recycles itself, and then also just summon 3.
Yeah, and even if it's
trigger all your
early
effects.
and you don't have if you somehow you don't have a fairy tale in your banishment, just being able okay, here's one for my hand and one for my graveyard. That's still real good.
I mean, that's still Wiccat, right? That's pretty easy. And then to end it all, the archetype. We do have one more non-archetype card, like I said. They made an honorary one with Genia of the Ring. Speaking of Aladdin.
Is this the equip card?
Yes. Which, guess what, Loth? This is your fusion spell. Because you can search you can equip an equip spell with Rella. They made that the fusion one. So Tale of Fairy Tales. The equip monster gains 1,000 attack. Already pretty decent. Turn your fairy tales into 2850. Once per turn during your main phase, you can fusion summon a spellcaster or fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters in your hand, field, or Prince of the Fairies your opponent controls as material. So yeah, that's the super poly effect we talked about. If this card's in your graveyard, you can equip this card to 1 fairy tale on the field, then immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon a spellcaster with 1850. You can use this effect once per turn. So this deck has a 3rd normal summon. You're at 3 normal summons. It's a fusion summon, and it makes Rella basically a starter. If you can get to Rella and use her effect to equip an equip spell from deck, that's it. You're fusioning.
Have there been other equip cards that fusion? Because Jesus Christ.
Yes, actually. A couple of years ago now, Salamandra Fusion. That was a TCG exclusive for the new Flame Swordsman stuff.
Oh, right. Yeah. But this is real good. Jesus Christ.
No, this gives the deck a really tight resource loop of, this is incredibly easy for you to equip from your deck using Rella, but also you can just search it as part of your normal, add any fairy tale card, or spell card to your hand. its effect works from graveyard, so you can bin it, you can play Foolish Burial Goods, you can bin it with Witcat, etc. Like, anything that sends these cards to graveyard, you can immediately set it up, and then equip it to a Fairy Tale, and then go on. And then, during your main phase. Like I said, the only thing that, so this basically, sorry, I should say, this card is probably how you're making Weaver turn 1. You set it up, you get a Fairy Tale and a Spellcaster, and you can use hand or field, and you make Weaver. Weaver lets you blank out one of your opponent's monsters, and then you can either set this up so that on turn 3, you can use it to remove cards to make Teller, and blow up the whole board, or you just Super Poly. You leave a Super Poly set, and you have discard fodder.
Also, it just means, like, hey, with the field spell, to attack directly, you got a 2850.
No, that's pretty good.
Because
Also,
most of the card effects that mention the attack power, like 1850, say original.
Yes. Yeah, no, it works out. And also, because it's an equip card, it's not a fusion spell card, so those don't work. But it's equip because that means you can play a lot of other shit. You can play Hidden Armory to just search it. And Hidden Armory is, you have to send cards to the top of your deck. You don't give a shit. You're playing Fairy Tale. Oh no, I milled Snow. Meh. Like, it's very solid. And you can see now, chat, why I brought this up earlier, why it's like, I think they had to like unban Snow to give this deck a fair crack, because you can play 3 Snow in the OCG, and it's like, no, the deck's really designed around recurring Snow and like playing with those silly little like back and forths. Like, literally, I think you're supposed to use like Witcat to bin Snow, and then after you summon Snow, you get to put Snow back in the graveyard.
You need at least one
Witcat.
Snow to make this work.
Like, I think it does work without her, but it's very clearly that like not as good.
Yeah, you lose a lot of momentum without Snow.
And somebody has actually got one of this. Before we leave the Fairy Tales fully, because again, we don't have that many more, and I don't want to keep us too long. We're getting up on 2 hours. Lost says he's sick. Axe says he's getting a headache. I've mentioned before. I'm feeling a little dehydrated myself. I'm getting my water back.
I might just go lie down.
Ellen's had to go. So like we're having a weird one today, gang. But before we leave the Fairy Tales, I did see, because we have one more card to talk about, Genia of the Ring. It was the TCG free agent that was clearly meant to support Fairy Tales. But I did want to mention, I did look at what this archetype is called in other languages, and it's very funny. So in French, Fairy Tale is Animal Féerique.
Aww.
In Italian, it's Coda Favola. And in German, Schwief. Sorry, I gotta go from a schwa to a weef. But yeah, Machen. They're very fun. All right, everybody. Say hi to Shantae for me. It's Jenny of the Ring.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It is just a Shantae.
Let me make that even slightly smaller, because I got to fit the ring in. So remember, it's funny, I joked about Aladdin, but also this is straight up like the Aladdin, 1001 Tales representation, because right down to the fact that the original friendly genie is from a ring.
Oh,
the
yeah.
lamp was a second genie. But so...
yeah, Jenny. Okay, I see.
Yes, Genia of the Ring. She is an Earth spellcaster, so she's another attribute to put into your rotation. She is 1850. So her attack is the same as her defense. That actually matters for certain funny plays with like Gizmek. Gizmek is another one that like has some interesting interactions with like Snow specifically. But she says, 1, if this card's in your hand, you can target a face-up monster in the field, special summon this card. Also, that target becomes a spellcaster. So this is just like gets you to Super Poly without needing to Prince of Fairies, or it lets you do Machgiru to make an opponent's monster Prince of Fairies, and then Genia makes them into a spellcaster. And the next time that target will be destroyed by a card effect this turn, it isn't and you can't special summon the extra deck except spellcasters. If this card is tributed or banished to activate a spellcaster monster effect, you can add this card back to your hand. You can use each effect once per turn. That's right. If this card's banished off of Snow, she comes right back. So yeah, this card just basically gives you like way extra extension. It lets you make monsters into spellcasters. It does make it so that you can insulate your own guys against your board wipes. And then again, if it's tributed or banished to activate a spellcaster monster's effect, that includes Sleeper. Remember, Sleeper's effect is tribute one monster you control to blank an opponent's card. She comes back, like she just recycles herself. It's not like vital, but you can basically build a pretty consistent deck out of, 3 of every spell card, 3 of every name except Snow, which is 1. You probably don't actually need 3 of every name. You probably don't. I'm sorry to Sleeper. You probably don't play 3 Sleeper. But you're playing 3 Match Gidu, 3 Luna, 3 Rella, because again, Rella just gets you to your fusion spell right away. I think you can play 3 Wachka. But you play Tails, you play Ball, you play all that other stuff. Play some Genia. Honestly, because I think there's room for you to just play this as a blind second deck. I think honestly, you just play Kaijus. Like you just play Kaijus and turn them into princes.
Oh god, no, that's awful.
Like I think this deck does have turn 1 plays with its control, but like I said, I think there's room to just turn this into a blind second, Kaiju OTK type deck. Like, you just blank your opponent's board, super poly them away, blow them up, and then, push for game because you can attack directly if they're all booked or if they're all gone. Like, it's a very fun Wamba Kamba you can check out. So, this has been Fairy Tail. Thanks so much for everybody tuning in. If you're watching this later, did not, shockingly, I know I talked about how usually these are a little more interactive, did not get a lot of action out of live chat live. But let me know in the comments how you guys feel about, like, if I instead of making it a Patreon thing for our 5 and up patrons, if I made it a YouTube membership thing to post the poll every month, because that's only $1.99. And, like, if people would interact with members-only posts, YouTube might like that better, instead of cross-promoting to Patreon, a platform they don't get any money out of. Who knows? But, like I said, we've got some interesting stuff. Now, what will next week be? I'm not sure. Because
who knows?
I think I said what it would be, what it could be 2 weeks ago after we did Assault Mode. It's been a week. I don't remember what I said. I've had other stuff going on. Today there was a really cool state of play that's got me thinking about how the fuck I'm going to... I literally can't play all the September games. There's like 4 big-ass games coming out in September, and there's no fucking way, man.
What was the listing? Oh, yeah, it's like... I mean...
Somebody posted it on Discord. It's like...
it's Wolverine, and then I guess Control and Onimusha. Like, I could...
Wolverine,
honestly,
Control...
I'm not going to play Townfall. I'd rather play Ill, because that's more my vibe of, like, fighting back.
Action-y? Yeah, no.
It's not less action, more like
violence.
Obliquely screaming in terror as you stop it from trying to violate you in every way.
Fire wildly into the darkness. But yes, no, like that's still like Wolverine Control Resident Onimusha is like, damn, that's a packed ass September. And guess what? Ace Combat is barely out of if I bought the deluxe edition, I could play Ace Combat 8 in September.
I beg it. Question: as someone that I know has probably played all the Ace Combat games,
actually,
are you excited for the
Belkin?
Okay. Are you excited to play the Belkin War?
Yes, actually, the fact that they announced the pre-order bonuses, they're going to include a remaster of Ace Combat 0, which I hope will also be available standalone. But
is this the first time that they've actually shown like people of the strange world governments?
No. Here's the thing:
is it like directly?
Ace Combat 7 was a little weird that the cutscenes were sometimes kind of distant, but like that had real people who were important. Like she was a little bit of a figurehead, but she was actually important. The Princess of Erusia was in 7, but like usually you see, military officers. It's just depending on the way the story's going. Some characters are kind of like voice only, or they're only their little pictures that appear in the corner.
Gotcha.
But like there are cutscenes, and some Ace Combat games are very story driven. I think I've talked before about how like it's very funny that Ace Combat 3 Electrosphere was like a game on like the PS1 or early PS2 that had like anime cutscenes and branching story, and had to be like hella cut down for size for the English release. So it was basically
They made it really
butchered.
bad. They made it bad, or it's like, or at least
They had
just
to,
like it's
hack
just
and
it's
slash
like
a lot of stuff because
it's like half of what it actually is.
yeah. So like the games do have complex stories and relationships, and Zero had like FMV type cutscenes. The
I know Zero would
classic
create like a
Yo,
documentary at
Live.
times.
Yeah. So like they've played with storytelling before.
Yeah.
8 seems like they're going a lot stronger on the narrative to like do a specific
You're
kind
playing
of
a-
feel.
yeah.
I can't.
Or a dude.
Loth, you were there when I did it, but I'm like, when somebody said before they showed it on screen, they're like, oh no, we've got to take out the land battleship. I was like, land battleship? Come on, guys. I mean, it's Ace Combat.
Also
so
the
there's
super,
super weapons, but it's
also
just like,
also the
oh my
super
God.
mega plane that you could see fighting in the trailer. The plane
Yeah,
that was like
there's
size
some
of like
flying
an entire
carriers.
there was literally like a fucking aircraft carrier sized
Arsenal
plane.
birds are pretty normal. Those are pretty regular, but they're like land
Oh, okay.
battleship, and I'm like, okay, all right, guys.
Yeah.
I
We
will.
could just make a super.
probably-
Could just make a fucking fortress tank.
They might have, but it's Ace Combat. It has to be a thing you can take down. Ace Combat is like 50% Top Gun, and the other 50% is the last 10 minutes
Starfax?
of Star Wars: A New Hope.
Oh, okay, gotcha. It's all like
Like,
so. There's no Star Fox there.
I mean, there might be a little Star Fox, but I haven't actually played a lot of Star Fox. I would assume the similarities are probably just Star Fox is also just the fighter segments of Star Wars. But like
Fair.
Ace
Yeah.
Combat always has a literal trench run, if not a literal tunnel run. Like
I know there's a thing of like you're
Literally.
literally dodging. You're in like a mine shaft, like fucking rotating yourself to get through like closing mine
yeah.
doors.
Okay,
I
let's
have-
end the stream.
Yeah, we're gonna end the stream. I have streamed Ace
Alright.
Combat 7 on the channel before. Check it out if you to cross promote. I may or may not get around. We'll see what the co-op looks like. I may or may not immediately do an Ace Combat 8 stream run because speaking of games coming out, Metal Gear Solid Master Collection comes out like at the end of October, I'm pretty sure. And hey, guess what? That's another one we really want to stream. Metal Gear Solid 4 is back, baby. But that's enough from us. Be sure to come back tomorrow for Final Fantasy XIV. We just had a patch update, so I'm going to do the Make It Rain event for my Otter backpack. Gonna check out the new custom deliveries and probably check out the new Cosmic Expo planet. That's everything I got. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. See you later, gang. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.